Hello my lovelies, welcome to my channel Lifeforce Unlimited. Here is your Halloween reading. This is for the collective. I've had a meditation and I've got some extraordinary information for you all, and also I'd like to share some of my Halloween artwork with you. So let's see what shows up, eh? So today is the 31st of October and it's Halloween. And Halloween means the evening before All Saints' Day on the 1st of November. And when something is hallowed, it is made sacred, it is holy. And on the 2nd of November, it is known as All Souls' Day. So there's an energy running from the end of October into November, which is to do with honouring those who have passed, those who have gone before us, those souls of our families, of our beloved ones. And so things have got a bit twisted, bent out of shape with commercialism and such like, to make it spooky. And so the messages I like to bring through for you, for Halloween, for the collective, are to do with the symbolism that we see around this day, the 31st of October. And of course there are bats. Which come out at night time to feed. And then we are told that witches fly on the broomsticks on Halloween. And we've just had a new moon in Scorpio. So the energy of Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, who is the lord of the underworld. And here we have an owl. And the owl is known as the night eagle. He hunts at night and he is silent. His wings cannot be heard by the prey. And of course, cobwebs and spiders. The spider energy is about creation, creating things, using your creative abilities, writing, composing, using verse. Owl energy is about wisdom and how we can dig deeply and tap into that inner wisdom, that inner knowing, your intuition. And the cauldron. The cauldron represents the place in which we put all the ingredients. The cauldron is us in a way. It's all the things that we have within us that we can mix together, finding what tastes good, what doesn't taste good in our lives, and how when we mix the right ingredients together, we are satisfied, we are replete. Mouse energy. The mouse is about details. How we need to look very closely at things. He's also about gathering enough food for the winter before they go to sleep for hibernation. And of course there's the pumpkin. Pumpkin is about harvesting, harvest energy. It's a vegetable that can last. It won't rot easily. It won't decompose easily. You can cut it and store it, and it will be there for you to eat at the right time. And then there's the cat energy, which is the witch's familiar. And the cat is about intuition, that knowingness. It's also about protection, knowing when to do something, knowing when to hold back. So we have many symbolic things showing up around Halloween and not really knowing exactly what they mean. Some people think it is just to scare us. But bat energy is about transformation. So if there are things in your life that have been stuck, have been out of balance, if you felt awkward in a situation, in a relationship, wanting to change things, not knowing how, well, the energy of bat will help you with that, to transform those things that have been stuck in your life that you can now release and let go of. And the energy of the new moon in Scorpio will help you with new beginnings, starting something new. And it will lead into a full moon in Taurus on the 12th of November. Which is earth energy. It will ground things. So any ideas you have at the moment that are still not quite clear, within the next couple of weeks, clarity will come. You'll be able to see much more clearly. You'll be able to bring things down to earth. Tap into that inner wisdom, that knowingness. And because two of the characters in this painting are in flight, so the owl is in flight and the witch is in flight, it means that things are coming into your life The owl isn't sideways, he's not flying left, he's not flying right, he's flying straight towards you. So because he is the night eagle, it can come silently to you, whatever it is you need to know. It could come in dreams, it could just be a picture that you see. And eagle energy is associated with spirit. Eagles fly higher than other birds, and their wings touch the heavens. So the souls that we are honouring over these next few days can be the messengers, our departed loved ones who will bring us, show us, give us information, help to reveal things in our lives that have maybe been right under our noses, but we haven't as yet been able to see. And if there is a song that keeps going round and round in your head, or you hear it playing, or somebody singing it, and you hear it a couple of times, listen to the words, listen to the lyrics, because something, somewhere within that song will be a message for you. Messages can come in all shapes and sizes and in the most peculiar of directions. I've been hearing a song I knew when I was very little. A mouse lived in a windmill in old Amsterdam. A mouse with a house in is hardly surprising. He sang every morning, "How lucky I am, living in a windmill in old Amsterdam." And the refrain is, "I saw a mouse." Where? There on the stair. Where on the stair? Right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip, clippity clop on the stair. So that's just one example of messages coming through. And as I say, mouse energy is about details, paying attention, looking at the small print, maybe going over things. And as we're as of the 31st of October, Halloween, dear old Mercury goes retrograde again. So we're going over stuff. We're having a look at things again. And it's a very good opportunity to use the mouse energy to look very, very closely at things. It's not necessarily just print. It can be looking at relationships, looking at your lifestyle, looking at where you live and your job, etc. Now, before I started filming all of this, I had a little meditation. So I'll give you the information on what we came up with that. And where I live, in this little cottage near the sea, I have some outhouses. There's a tiny weeny stable where they used to keep the donkeys that used to bring up coal and fish from the beach. I have an outside loo, which is now capped off, and I also have what would have been a wash house or an outhouse. So in this meditation, I was shown an outhouse, and inside was what was called a copper, which was a huge, big copper basin, and it rested on a plinth, so to speak, where a fire was lit under it, and it was filled with water, and that's where you did your washing, the wash house, the outhouse. And copper is an amazing element. In the atomic numbers, it's actually 29. So 29, when that's added together, makes 11, and 11 is a master number. So there's some interesting energies going on in the meditation, in the vision for you. Also, in times when we did use a copper to do the washing, way before people had washing machines, that's how they did their laundry. And then once the washing was washed through, they would put it through what was called a mangle. So I was shown this mangle, which was 2 rollers with a handle on a stand, and you fed the piece of washing through, turned the handle, and it squeezed all of the water out. So it sort of wrung the water out of the piece of clothing. So there are lots of different meanings to the words within this vision, and also where it was situated as an outhouse. So it's away from the house, it's outside of the house, it's not part of the house being us. And also to do with our family, our closest knit relationships that we have. So when I tuned into this, I said, well, what's all of this about? So the period that we're going through now, not just about Halloween, is about cleaning. So it's doing the laundry, our inner laundry, our emotional laundry, our mental laundry, our all of those bits of us that have got grubby, that have got careworn, or that we've not paid attention to. And so the copper, the huge bowl, is a conductor of electricity, and copper is used a lot in wires, in wiring, electrical wiring, because it conducts electricity. And also with the water added to it, it has the ability to cleanse things on a much deeper level. So water is our emotions. So this copper, huge copper bowl, is offering itself in a way to help us to cleanse our emotions that may go back an awful long way. And because I've seen this very old-fashioned way of doing our laundry, this can be not just our childhood, it can be previous lifetimes where that's all people had to do their laundry with. Also, the water has to be heated. So we're bringing in the fire element as well. So, okay, I'm just being told about the 5th of November. So in the UK, we have I suppose you could call it a celebration, and it's called Guy Fawkes Night. So Guy Fawkes was a guy who tried to blow up Parliament in however many, couple of hundred years ago, and failed. And he stored lots of gunpowder underneath the Houses of Parliament with the intention of blowing up Parliament and the King at the time. But yes, he failed. And so the celebration that we have on the 5th of November is we make a guy, which is a representation or a replication of this person, and stick him on top of a bonfire and set fire to it. So it's pretty gruesome. But the sense of the fire energy with the copper is that something that somebody tried to do. Oh, okay. Okay, pennies just dropped. Because of the energies of change that are going on the planet, bear with me. So we've got Pluto and Saturn meeting up exactly in January, okay? January the 12th, I believe. So Pluto rules Scorpio, and we are in the season of Scorpio at the moment. And Pluto, as I said, is the lord of the underworld. So it's things coming to light, things that need to be shaken, things that need to be changed. Guy Fawkes tried to change things with regard to Parliament, to government, and I feel that me being shown that sort of as a little extra, the fire energy, the bonfire, which means good, bonfire, bon feu, a good fire. So a fire coming in to cleanse away, to burn away, to remove all those structures around us where things have been hidden, because Pluto is about things hidden, Scorpio, things hidden, things coming to the surface, a light being shone upon them. So with the fire, it's like things are lighting up around us and we can start to see things much more clearly. So with the need to wash things, the need to launder things and clean things being so pertinent, also I was told it is alchemy. So using the element of copper, using the element of fire and water, all of these things around this Halloween energy at the moment is changing one thing into something else. So it's using alchemy, magic, tapping into the energies of change and knowing that things cannot be the same again. They can't remain the same. So you could also see the cauldron in the Halloween painting as the copper, where things are changed from when you put all of these ingredients together, the fire and the water magically change it into something else, which we can then ingest, we can take into ourselves, we can be fed from, we can be nurtured from. So there's a great deal here about tapping into that wisdom, owl energy, allowing that owl energy to come in, to bring in that wisdom. It's already within you anyway. It's a matter of just tapping into it again and saying, oh, okay, let's put those things together. I never thought of that. Let's see how that works. And then taking the dirty laundry out of the copper and running it through the mangle. So for some of us, it might feel that we're being squeezed, we're being wrung out. And if you imagine a sheet, the way to wring it out is to sort of turn it and turn it and turn it into a knot to get every drop of water out of it. Or again, the emotions being wrung out of you. And so the word mangle has another meaning too. When something is mangled, it's crushed. It's literally wrung out. So you could feel emotionally wrung out. You can feel like, oh my God, anything loud. It's all been completely wrung out of me. And tears are good. So tears are like wringing those emotions out of you. And we sometimes wring our hands with anguish or upset or whatever. And that is also a very positive exercise, because in the center of your hand is the heart meridian. And this is where they say they put the nails in old JC. So when we sometimes wring our hands in anguish, we're stimulating the heart energy. When we wring our hands in glee, we're stimulating the heart energy. So if something needs to be wrung out of you, you may have someone around you who's maybe got you by the shoulders and, I want to wring the truth out of you. Or you could be doing that to yourself, is living in your truth. So sometimes when we live wearing the mask, and you may see that today, this evening, of kids in masks and such like, disguising themselves, hiding themselves, is sort of as of tomorrow, that is then revealed, and you see, this is the real me, this is the truth. So sometimes when we go through huge ups and downs in our lives, great highs and great lows, and you think, why on earth did I do that? Oh Lord, I knew on a deep level I shouldn't, but I still went ahead and did it anyway. And so in hindsight, you can say, well, I'm not going to do that again. Sometimes it can be a long, hard lesson, and sometimes it can be a short, sharp, quick one. But either way, hopefully we've learned something from it. So I get the sense that the there's another bit to the vision. They added a bit on. Right, okay. So we've had the wash house and the outhouse and the copper and the mangle and the all of that bringing our inner laundry out to wash. And then through my studies in Shiatsu and the Eastern way of looking at things, the pumpkin is to do with transformation. And the time of day is between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. And the colour of it, orange, is to do with our joy of living. So it's your belly area, it's your sacral centre, your sacral chakra, and how there are times where we need to have some fun, we need to rejoice, we need to celebrate, we need to feel you've put in an awful lot of hard work, and a party is needed. Then I was also shown Cinderella. And for my thesis on Shiatsu, I actually wrote about the earth element in the form of a fairy tale about Cinderella. And the earth energy affects our knees and our elbows. So she was on her knees and her elbows scrubbing. And also the pumpkin being about transformation, how it was transformed into this beautiful carriage. And also the mice. The mice were transformed into horses. So the energy of these 3 days, Halloween, All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day, but also then leading into November, is about a huge transformation. The organs associated with the transformation are lungs and large intestine. So our lungs take in energy, oxygen, and our large intestine eliminates that which we no longer need. So it's they work in harmony with each other, the lungs and the large intestine. And if you haven't been able to breathe easily about a situation, if you haven't felt inspired recently in a situation, if you've had a loose bowel, put it that way, or you'd be a bit, a little bit bunged up, that's holding on to old emotions and old upsets, etc. And one of the best ways to clear those things out from you, not just the physical symptoms, deep breathing, taking really, really, really deep breaths in and breathing out very, 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 very slowly. I would highly recommend you lie down to do it, because when we breathe in, 80% of the oxygen goes to our brains first. And so if we're not used to taking in that much oxygen, you can feel faint, you can feel dizzy. So lie down when you're doing it. And also working with the meridians which are in your hands, as well as your feet and the rest of your body. The thumb is the large intestine, lungs, and the index finger is large intestine. So the meridian starts with the lung, all the way up the arm, and then back down again to the index finger. So you can just gently hold, massage those two fingers. Just a few minutes each side. Just gently rub your thumb, gently rub that finger, whilst you're breathing deeply. And you may find after about half an hour or so, you start to feel the gurgles in your tongue, which is good. That's called peristalsis, and that means the energy has shifted. and then you might feel lighter, feel brighter, and as I say, have more clarity of things coming in. So with the Cinderella story of the transformation, in the story she uses the pumpkin as the coach, she uses the mice as the horses, and her dress, her clothes, she's transformed into this beautiful ball gown. But come the stroke of midnight, it all goes back to how it was, but it doesn't. It appears that the coach turns back into the pumpkin. It appears that the horses turn back into the mice, and it appears that her beautiful ball gown returns to rags. But something in her life has shifted, something has changed. A part of her doesn't believe that it can ever get better and be for the good, but something is working behind the scenes. So this is also fairy godmother energy, which to do is transformation. She transforms things in our lives. So we tend to think that our guides and our guardians are all outside of us, and our fairy godmother is all outside of us. They're not. They are deep within. Everything we need is deep within us. It's just finding that ability to tap into it. So allowing the owl energy to come at you and find that bit that's the fairy godmother. So if anything over these next few days seems to sort of throw everything up in the air, it can look like the tower in the tarot, and the rug is pulled from underneath you, and you suddenly think, oh wow, everything's going my way, this is amazing, and then it falls flat. Don't worry, because that is the beginning of the transformation. Something will show up and it might suddenly disappear, and you think, oh, that was great, but it's gone. But it hasn't really gone. Something is still working behind the scenes for you to clear away and clear. So the the ugly sisters and the stepmother, wicked stepmother, they're the things that you need to clear away. And the ugly sisters and the stepmother, they're not external either. They may show up externally, but they're not really external either. They're aspects of us, aspects of ourselves. So whether you're male or female, ugly sisters might show up in your life, and then wicked stepmother may show up in your life. Not necessarily family, but as characters. And so as we go into our wash house and we do our laundry, our internal laundry, those aspects of ourselves can be cleansed and washed, hung out to dry, wrung out, alchemically changed, so that they don't show up again and they've lost their power. They cannot control you. They cannot tell you what you have to do, where you have to be, that you cannot come above the stairs. In a way, it's about empowerment, letting go of those things that you allowed to control you. And then as you step into your power, into a beautiful ball gown, and that glass slipper is presented to you, and it fits. So however this Halloween energy comes and meets you, welcome it in, because things have to change. They can't stay the same. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be spooky. It can actually be a revelation. It can be fun. It can be a huge relief. And there might be a part of your inner laundry that's been stained for a very long time, had a deep, deep, dark stain on it. And you thought, oh, I'll never get a stain out of that. That stain's never going to come out. But here's an opportunity for it to completely disappear, totally dissolve. So I hope that makes sense to you, my darlings. I have enjoyed doing this for you. If you'd like to leave a comment, that would be wonderful. If you'd like to know more about my artwork, that'd be wonderful too. I'll put all this information about it in the box below. So have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you very soon. Lots of love. Bye.